Poke Nation is back. Heath Schroyer is not here. We're spicing up the place with Matt Bonnette once again. Schroyer claims to be doing NCAA stuff, but nobody knows where he is. There's no GPS on the man.
I'll be waiting on my check, too. You know?
I think
my
we all
fill-in check, substitution check.
We all have to wait on that for a while. Okay, so Matt, rough weekend for McNeese.
Yeah, it was.
Football-wise.
I mean, I think it was pretty much you and the other media said it's a trap game.
Yeah.
It was definitely a trap game. Give all the credit to HCU. They came out fired up. You were there. You saw they were fired up from start to finish. They were very physical
More
team.
physical than they've been all year.
Yeah, absolutely. So they knew it was a big game for them. It was their conference opener. They knew we were coming off of a big win at Weber State. And of course, being out a lot of key players. Didn't help either for us. But it is just one game. It was just is one conference loss, and the good thing is we got an open date now. So
well, the one thing is, we talked about the schedule and the 4 games in a row, but I don't think we ever really dug into during the year of being the only team in the country that I know of that played 7 straight games to start the season.
I think North Alabama's the only other one, and they played on week 0 as well. I mean, our guys have been going nonstop. They reported on July 20th.
Yeah.
And so it's been nonstop up until now, and now they finally get a little break, a little breather, get to heal some wounds, and get ready for the final stretch.
And they looked tired. They looked like a tired team.
They did,
And a beat-up team.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing about it is, too, we're 4-3 going into the break, which is good. Got a good win over Weber State. 3-0 at home. We got 2 tough ones coming up out of the open date at UIW and at Nichols, teams that are picked 1-2 in the league, and then we're back home. So these next 2 are going to be really big, but of course it starts at UIW next week.
Yeah, for those fans who think the sky fell, 4-3 is about what a lot of people expected at this point. You got there in a funny way with the win over Weber, which kind of raised everybody's hopes. But
I think that obviously you want to be 5-2.
Yeah.
But I guess before the season started, if you took the first 7 games and you could poll 20 people, I think most would say, okay, we're not going to get the Weber game, but we'll get the HCU game.
Yeah.
We'll just flip-flopped.
The only difference is that would have been 2-0 in conference.
Right,
That's the big difference.
And this coming Saturday, you got Nichols is playing UIW.
Yeah.
So one of them are going to get their first loss. HCU is going to lose 1 or 2 here and there, or maybe more. So it's early. It's early. The sky's not falling at all.
But the thing would be is if you get one of the next 2 games, you're in pretty good shape because you're knocking off one of the better teams.
Absolutely.
It's just a funny way to get to it because you are on such a high off of Weber State.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now you get the bye week to where it ends up being a 2-week. But we're going to see what they're made of when they come back because they get a chance right off the bat. Incarnate Word's going to come back from Nichols. They're going to be a little beat up because Nichols pounds you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it does start to turn around.
Yeah, that one's going to be a good one to see where each one of those teams really stand. I mean, Nichols just they annihilated Southern.
Yeah.
They played LSU pretty well earlier in the year.
And they played Tulane this year. They've had a tough schedule. They play up a lot.
Yeah,
for money.
UIW, their game against Prairie View this past week is pretty close up until like the last quarter and a half of the game.
And they generally don't go play FBS Powers.
No, they don't.
You play Texas A&M.
Yeah, and they're a different style of team that we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
They don't have that really dominant quarterback like they've had, Cam Ward, who you see in Miami now, guys like that. So it'll be a UIW game is going to be an interesting one.
It's an interesting game, and it sets up the rest. It really sets up the rest of the year. What the rest of the year is.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think what's good about this open date is you look at the players that we missed. We missed really top 3 tacklers on the season. We're going to get Micah Davey back.
Yeah.
Bugsy will be back. Tristan Driggers will be. He should be maybe 100%.
And Clifton's fingers should work.
Yeah, Clifton should be, all ready to go. I think this team, people have seen how good this team can play, how good it can be. And you put it all together at UIW, and, who knows?
And they seem to play UIW well. They had a lead on them last year at halftime. They play them pretty well. So it is probably the best rivalry you got going with McNeese right now.
And the thing is, I think you look at the polls too. Of course, we were ranked. We're not ranked anymore, but we still have. I think a lot of people are giving us respect because we're still getting a lot of votes in the polls.
And don't forget
we're getting more votes than Lamar still.
Yeah, and don't forget. It wasn't a disastrous week because Weber State beat Montana.
Weber State beat
That's
Montana.
number 5, and that now suddenly your win at Weber State looks even better.
Absolutely.
It's just a strange way it looks at it. Just went about it wrong, and now we see what picks up. All right, real quick before we get to the break and Lynn Kennedy, basketball. You get to work on basketball this week.
Man, I tell you what, it's crazy. It's almost here. You look at. Well, I say it every year. Once August 1st gets here and the start of really football gets rolling, I mean the whole fall just takes off, and it's crazy. We're already here. Yeah, basketball this week. It's getting ready for it. We got the Southland Conference production crew coming in to do some preseason stuff with them, and
the Will Wade banquet was actually
the banquet is on. Yeah,
it's Wednesday night, but that's the night this runs.
Yeah,
a lot of things happening. They're going to be interesting. When we get back, we'll talk to Lynn Kennedy and his new look team with 7 newcomers. 8 if you count the girls redshirted freshmen. So a lot of new faces on McNeese women's basketball when we come back after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
Welcome to Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where every dish is crafted with fresh ingredients bursting with flavor. Make your date night unforgettable with our authentic Mexican dishes in a cozy and unique setting. Experience our warm and welcoming staff dedicated to ensuring your dining experience is nothing short of exceptional. Unwind at our bar with weekly drink specials perfect for any occasion. Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where great food, people, and drinks come together.
The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
New to Lake Charles, but not Louisiana, Mockler Beverage has been a leading Anheuser-Busch distributor for over 35 years. Known for an unwavering commitment to quality and service, we're excited to bring our excellence to Southwest Louisiana. Our exceptional portfolio of brands ensures we have the perfect beverage for every taste and occasion. Experience the Mockler difference, where every sip tells a story of excellence and satisfaction. Mockler Beverage, we serve Southwest Louisiana. For more information or to join the team, go to mocklerbeverage.com.
Welcome back to Polk Nation. Joining us right now is Cowgirl basketball head coach Lynn Kennedy. And Coach Kennedy, it's hard to believe the season's already upon us. You've been practicing now for a few weeks. How has the preseason workouts been going?
It's been going really well. I think, just being able to go this summer too really did help us as far as give us a head start into August. We've got a lot of new players, but we've also have some returners coming back too. So having that summer session, being able to go into the fall with a little bit of a head start has really helped us. Honestly, we're probably 2 or 3 weeks ahead of where we were last year at this time, which is a good thing. And we need to continue that momentum. We've got a couple scrimmages coming up here in the next couple weeks, and then our official game starting in November.
Being ahead of a little bit, like you said, is that because you were able to have some on campus this summer?
I really do think so. I think a little bit of it is our returners coming back, already been in our system before, but then also being able to have those 6 weeks in the summer. Being able to implement our system, both offense and defense, being able to go through those details and then actually get into, the other things we need to work on, in the fall, and work on our conditioning too as well. So I think that has helped us.
What about the fact that your staff is now made up of predominantly kids that played for you?
Yeah.
So that there's kind of a continuation of the program, kind of an understanding of what the program's all about. How does that set the culture differently, and how does that make it easier to kind of get your points across?
Well, I think, when as a head coach, you always want your players to have that option to come back and be a coach. And it's worked out this year that we have, 4 former players now that are coaching with us, 2 from McNeese State, 2 from Portland State, and it's really helped just the continuity of keeping the same staff in place, but also adding, Mike comes in, he knows the state of Louisiana recruiting, Texas recruiting. It does help us as far as kind of bridge the gap with some of the high schools and the club teams in the area. So for me, it feels like it's actually our staff in place this year. It's a next level staff, I think. Having the former players now helping, with the system that we have in place, whether it's the playbook or the scouts, and then also the recruiting aspect of it too.
Getting Mike here and turning your recruiting around to a lot of in-state, how important was that? I know you've been trying to do it for years.
Yep.
How important was getting him here and just kind of the continuity of the fact that people knew him before, and he's one of them guys that now he kind of gives a stamp of approval on the place?
It was definitely, my number one goal going into the spring, as we went into this year as far as recruiting we wanted to get I-10, and we've been working at it the last couple of years. We've been close on a couple of players, but now that we've been able to get some players to come back from Louisiana, from Lake Charles, it definitely helps us, and it helps our program overall too. So being able to have someone that has that experience and those connections along with this current staff, I think that has helped us this offseason.
Talk about some of those players you do have coming back, some local players. Just what do you feel like they're going to bring to this team?
Well, I mean, first, having Paris come back from La Tech and everything that she's done at the high school level and her experience that she gained last year, playing at the highest level, I think that's going to help us. She's coming off an injury, so we want her to get healthy. So right now, we're looking at mid-December. We're not rushing it coming back. I felt like, last year she was kind of rushed to come back, and they wanted her in playing games early on. We want her to be healthy, 100%. But to have someone like that come back to this area, and she means so much to the area. I think people know her. She's such a great player. I think that's definitely going to help our team to have someone from Lake Charles. We want to fill the seats too. I mean, it does help. I mean, that's what we want. And to have someone that can play at a high level and also help, as far as get our team to that next level.
How has this group of new players been gelling with the returners?
It's been going great. I think, our returners are young, but they have experience. So that's the two things that you want. In the portal system, it's rare that you have all 5 freshmen return, and we had all 5 freshmen return from last year. And so part of what we wanted to do last year was build young, kind of build the program up. We did that. We were able to keep all those freshmen, even though they were all recruited. Now they have experience. Now we add that with some of the seniors and the grad transfers we have. And I like our mix, and I like the level of play that we've had in practice. It's definitely another level. And so the combination of the returners and then the new coming in has definitely helped, our practices get to another level.
Do you feel like with the returners, and like you said, they're all coming back, all the freshmen are coming back, especially with the portal, I know you have to re-recruit them.
Yeah.
But you look at this arena behind us, and you know the Southland Conference, you're set pretty good to be able to compete for the league title. Does that make it a little bit easier to keep those players here?
It does. It does. I think, with everything that's going on as far as the portal and NIL and everything, it's a little bit more difficult as far as re-recruiting, but I think, as far as our program and our system and how we treat our players, I think that's the biggest thing as far as re-recruiting them back here. Yes, definitely the arena, the city, the community does help, but it's also everything that we put into our program. I think that's the main emphasis.
Before we get into the newcomers in the next segment, I want to get into one that's back but didn't play last year.
Okay.
Danielle.
Yeah.
6'4" freshman, redshirted. That's almost like an 8th newcomer for you.
Yeah.
What does that do? Because she brings you size. How has she progressed?
She's been doing great. She came in, didn't get a lot of time in high school. Her first 2 years and then her last 2 years at Cy-Fair played a lot. With her club team. But she's someone that's been growing with our system and with our program. She can defend. I mean, she's so long and she's athletic, and she's also a strong person to it down low. So I think that has helped us. But yeah, definitely having the year of practicing and knowing our system, and then coming in and playing. And she's battling to get some good grad transfers too. So it's been good to see those battles, especially at the low block.
When we come back, we're going to talk about this year's team and specifics, the newcomers, after this on Polk Nation.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
Welcome to Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where every dish is crafted with fresh ingredients bursting with flavor. Make your date night unforgettable with our authentic Mexican dishes in a cozy and unique setting. Experience our warm and welcoming staff dedicated to ensuring your dining experience is nothing short of exceptional. Unwind at our bar with weekly drink specials perfect for any occasion. Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where great food, people, and drinks come together.
The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
New to Lake Charles, but not Louisiana, Mockler Beverage has been a leading Anheuser-Busch distributor for over 35 years. Known for an unwavering commitment to quality and service, we're excited to bring our excellence to Southwest Louisiana. Our exceptional portfolio of brands ensures we have the perfect beverage for every taste and occasion. Experience the Mockler difference, where every sip tells a story of excellence and satisfaction. Mockler Beverage, we serve Southwest Louisiana. For more information or to join the team, go to mocklerbeverage.com.
We're back with Lynn Kennedy, women's basketball coach at McNeese State, looking to flip the script from last year with 7 newcomers. A lot. You hit the transfer portal. We've talked about Paris Guillory a little bit, but it seems like you got a lot of size, but you really got a lot of athleticism. Was that the biggest thing you were looking for?
Yeah, I think, take away from last year, we needed to increase our athleticism, our speed, just how we were approaching the offensive end, but also, especially on the defensive end, I think that's been a point of emphasis for us in the fall and really in our workouts and in our practices. Just we need to be better on the defensive end and rebounding. So I think, when we went into the portal, through our recruiting, that was what we were looking at, increasing our size, but also our athleticism and our speed.
Who are some ones you like? You talked a little bit about Willie Joseph early from ULL, kind of giving you some power inside and kind of some of the dynamics that does.
Yeah.
How has that kind of changed your physicality with some of the people you brought in?
Well, I mean, just defensively, she provides such a presence for us on the defensive end. She can play, our person-to-person defense full court because of her athleticism, but also she can grind it out at the low block as well too. So, and she's played at the highest level, so I think that does help us. And Sydney coming in from Boise State, she's played at Boston College before that. She provides size, and each post is different. They're all different, and so she provides really a size and a power post for us in that low block area. She can score at will. I mean, give her the ball down low, there's not many people that can stop her. So she's been battling. Nini at the block. Julia is more athletic, but she can go to the outside. She can shoot threes, but she can finish. But she's more kind of a European skill position, as far as the low block. So This year we do have many options as far as low post players. We talked about Daniela before too. So we have 4 or 5 different options, you know, and when we get into our fours, you know, Yespes has been providing, you know, a huge spark for us this fall as far as her game continuing to grow.
She made huge progress from mid-season on last
year. She's actually better this year, and I think some of it is just the competition she's had in the summer and the fall. So as far as our post players, it's definitely going to be different, and you're going to see a different style of play this year.
Do you, with the players coming in, do you try to stay with the same style of play, or do you kind of adjust a little bit with the style kind of players you have coming in?
I would say this is our style of play. I know it's been a few years, but I look at this as kind of our first year where we've had the recruits that we've wanted, the style of player that we want, the athleticism, the speed, the quickness on the court. So I think it fits who we are. We haven't been able to play that way the last couple of years, but I think this will be the first year that we actually can see that. And really the skill level is elevated, the competition level is elevated. We got to go out and do it on the court though, as you guys know. We have to go out and prove it on the court, and that's really what we're really focused on in the fall is, you know, the skill competition. Now we got to go prove it on the court.
Talking about the competition, you have a pretty challenging schedule. You have a really good home schedule, non-conference home schedule, but then you add in conference games, Stephen F. Austin, UTRGV. That just kind of elevates the league even better.
It does, and you know, when we look at our non-conference schedule, we wanted to play, you know, a competitive schedule to get us ready for the Southland. You know, we do go to Utah, play BYU back-to-back games. We're treating it like a conference tournament type of style of game where you're playing back-to-back. Just the routine that you take going into a tournament, we get a couple of those back-to-back games. We're playing in an MTE at Longwood, same type of thing. We're treating it like a tournament type of style of game. We get 3 mid-major teams that we're going to play in that. It's going to be good for us, but we get Utah Tech at home, which is a good WAC opponent for us to play. They've been upper half of the WAC the last couple of years, so that will help us kind of be ready for Stephen F. Austin at UTRGV because that was what they played the last couple of years.
And you open up with, I know Jim can't wait for this game. You open up, you know, it's become a tradition now. You open up on November the 4th at
11 a.m.
11 a.m. And it's the Calcasieu Parish school kids game, and the place is going to be packed with a bunch of screaming kids. So just talk about, I mean, not so much that game, but what that game, not on the court, but just how that game kind of brings the community together, especially the kids, and get them in the arena.
Yeah, and it does. It means a lot to our players too as well, and we wanted to connect with the community. And so when I came, we brought that same style of game that we had before, and it just helps us connect with the kids in the community connects with our players and gets to know them. It's a great atmosphere. Bring your earplugs, though. Bring your earplugs, but it's a great atmosphere to be in. It is the loudest that I hear our arena throughout the year. But I think it's a chance for our university, too, to see potential students in our arena.
Absolutely.
It's the first look a lot of them get as far as McNeese, and so I think it's a win-win for everybody. It's been a great event the last couple of years. I don't know how many empty seats we had last year because it was pretty full.
It was.
And I think this year it'll be the same.
They're in it. I mean, the kids are in it the entire game, chanting and cheering and everything.
They don't know what they're seeing all the time, and they don't know when to do it right, but they know to make a lot of noise. And they enjoy it, and they get it a class. Let's face it, that's what they're doing. Has that helped you kind of with some of the summer camps, do you think?
It does. I think it does with our camps and also with recruiting because it's something that we can show. When you show in a filled-up arena, if you recruits, it definitely does help, and they know that atmosphere is going to be part of what they're going to be playing in.
Well, McNeese State kicks off November 4th here at home, 11 a.m., and then you're back home 3 days later, right? 3 days later.
Doubleheader with the men's team.
When the men's open up on the Thursday night. So we'll see then. Lynn Kennedy's been our guest. When we come back, we'll get Matt's final thoughts after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
We're back. That was an interesting segment with Lynn Kennedy because so many new faces.
Yeah, they're going to be fun to watch. I'm excited.
They're going to be completely different
Absolutely.
to watch.
They're going to be a lot of fun to watch. And when you bring in talent and athleticism,
with local flavor.
You're gonna put people in the seats to watch them. And as they continue to win, you'll have more and more people show up. And that's the kind of style of play that gets you a championship in the Southland Conference.
Well, the strange thing is, because in today's world, even in the women's side, you go 6-25, and you return all 5 of your freshmen. Who were forced into playing last year.
Yeah.
And you're able to go out and get a lot of talent in the portal. That says a lot about your facilities and what you're selling.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody knows this facility is the best in the Southland Conference, it's the best in the state. And so you're recruiting that as well. You're recruiting to that as well. You mentioned about bringing in Coach Mike Pittman.
Yeah,
he's a huge addition to the staff. He spent the last few years at Northwestern State. And so having some experience like that on your staff is big. Being able to return those players that know the system, being able to bring in players that are going to add to the system, and finally, like you said, finally play the way that he's been wanting to play for pretty much the first time. They're going to be exciting to watch.
And you get the benefit of the Boston Berry, Asia Reeves, who had to start all last year as freshmen, probably weren't ready at the beginning of the year. Kind of developed into it. Now all of a sudden they've got experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at it too. Okay, well, what's at the end of the year? You got the Southland Conference tournament right here in our place again. So you're able to build on that and get to that point where we missed it last year. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. A team that's going to be fun to watch. Traditionally this program is really good. You look at the times in the past, winning championships, bringing people in. Fans love to watch the Cowgirls play, and I think that, they do have a tough schedule, non-conference schedule. You do have a few home games here and there, but once conference gets rolling, I think, or once it approaches, I think this team's going to be ready to play.
Yeah, as long as they don't the one thing that does happen is if you have such a tough schedule and you play some games on the road, people get down on it because they don't understand the different levels of play, and the next thing you know, then everybody complains. But you got to look at who you're playing.
Yeah, the one in Utah is going to be tough. You're playing some great competition.
Back-to-back
the one
nights,
at Lindenwood, that's going to be very competitive. I think it'll be more like to what the teams we're going to see in the conference play.
Yeah, no, that's what you got to kind of pick and choose. This isn't men's basketball where he can go out and beat anybody just about it seems like, but so it is different. Okay, I want to ask you this thing. You do a video with Schroyer now.
Yeah.
Every week.
Right.
Now, we all know he's a big media hog guy. We got that. But have you gotten a lot of hits on that thing? Because it's entertaining from the point.
People
it's
love
informative,
it.
but
yes. Oh yeah, we get.
He loves it.
Yeah. No, it's doing really well. I mean, it gets a message out to our fans. Kind of previews what's going on for the week. And I think it's great. It's funny because I've had some other SIDs in the league say, "Man, what are you doing over there?"
Really?
And I say, "Hey, man, it's just something different." My profession has evolved.
Well, you guys are way out there in front of the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially for this league.
Yeah. So I've talked to SIDs who are still old school, and I don't want to do stuff like that. Well, you know what? There might be a point in time where you're going to have to, because that's where it's going to. The video stuff, post-game interviews. If you notice, I mean, there's not so much more writing as there is now. I like to put videos to the stories, and I like to do bullet point facts about the game and stuff like that. So it's changed quite a bit.
Well, that's what the kids like to see. That's how you brand it.
Absolutely.
That's a different brand at McNeese Down. We'll keep up.
And Heath is great at it. So.
He's a camera hog. Well, he'll be back next week, hogging up the camera on Poke Nation. We'll see you next time.
Go Pokes.